Welcome to Harry and Meghan TV, the channel where we celebrate compassion, justice and resilience. Today, we delve into a passionate moment of truth where a caller boldly defends Meghan Markle, addressing racism head-on during a heated discussion. This story highlights the challenges many face when advocating for fairness and equality, particularly in spaces resistant to change. A radio call was placed on LBC, originally the London Broadcasting Company, is a British phone-in and talk radio station based in London. The caller, frustrated, exhausted, simply said, "Is fed up explaining racism." It resonated. Why? Because for many it echoed their own experiences. It wasn't just about Meghan Markle or Jeremy Clarkson anymore. It was bigger. It was about the daily exhaustion of navigating a world that often feels hostile and dismissive. It's about constantly having to justify your existence, explain your pain, and educate others on basic human decency. It's about the constant barrage of microaggressions, the subtle digs, the backhanded compliments. It's about feeling like you have to work twice as hard to be considered half as good. The caller's words were a stark reminder of the emotional labour that people of colour carry daily. It's a weight that's often invisible, unacknowledged, yet ever present. It's time we listened. The call was a wake-up call, a plea for empathy and understanding. It was a call to action for everyone to do better. It urged us to educate ourselves, to seek out resources, and to engage in meaningful conversations about race and equality. It was a reminder that listening is the first step, but action must follow. We must be allies, advocates, and active participants in the fight for justice. The call echoed around the world, resonating with those who have felt the sting of discrimination and those who stand in solidarity with them. It was a call for unity, for collective action, and for a future where everyone is treated with the dignity and respect they deserve. Together, we can create a world where no one has to be fed up explaining their humanity. Let's make that call heard round the world. Why is it that in 2024 we're still having these conversations? Why are marginalized communities still burdened with the responsibility of educating others about racism? It's exhausting. It's like we're stuck in a loop, forced to relive the same conversations, explain the same concepts, and debunk the same tired stereotypes. And let's be clear, this isn't about expecting everyone to be a scholar on race relations. It's about basic human decency. It's about listening, learning, and making an effort to understand experiences different from your own. Imagine this. You wouldn't ask someone who's been shot to teach you about gun safety. You'd seek out experts, do your research, and take responsibility for your own education. It should be no different with racism. Meghan Markle's experience is a stark example of how racism operates in the 21st century. Her journey through the public eye has been a revealing lens into the persistent and pervasive nature of modern racism. It's often subtle, insidious, and masked behind layers of respectability politics. This form of racism is not always overt or easily identifiable, but it is deeply ingrained in societal norms and behaviours. But make no mistake, it's there. It manifests in the microaggressions, the coded language, and the unspoken prejudices that people of colour face daily. From the thinly veiled criticism of her biracial heritage to the relentless attacks on her character, the message has been clear: she doesn't belong. The scrutiny she faces is a reflection of a broader societal issue. The vitriol directed at her, fueled by a toxic mix of racism, sexism, and xenophobia, is a stark reminder of the challenges faced by many women of colour. These intersecting forms of discrimination amplify the hostility and exclusion they experience. It exposes the double standards, the implicit biases, and the often unspoken rules that govern who is deemed worthy of respect and admiration. These biases are not just personal but are institutional, affecting opportunities and perceptions. Her story is not unique. It echoes the experiences of countless others who navigate a world that frequently questions their legitimacy and worth. It's a story that resonates with countless individuals who have been marginalized, ostracized, and dehumanized because of their race, ethnicity, or cultural background. Their resilience and solidarity in the face of such adversity are a testament to their strength and determination. The impact of this bias extends far beyond one individual. It seeps into the fabric of society, influencing everything from media representation to policy decisions. It creates a system where opportunities are limited, voices are silenced, and potential is stifled. Think about it. How many stories go untold? How many voices go unheard? How much talent is wasted because of systemic racism? It's a collective loss, a detriment to us all. We must acknowledge that racism is not just about individual acts of prejudice, but about a system that perpetuates and reinforces these inequalities. It's about addressing the root causes, dismantling the structures that perpetuate inequity, and creating a society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive, regardless of the colour of their skin. So, where do we go from here? How do we move beyond the exhaustion and frustration? It starts with allyship. True allyship, however, isn't about empty gestures or social media pronouncements. It's about action. It's about using your privilege to amplify marginalized voices, challenge racist jokes, and call out discrimination wherever you see it. It's about being willing to have those uncomfortable conversations, even when it's easier to stay silent. It's about being a voice for the voiceless, even when it's difficult. It's about understanding that this fight is not about being colorblind, but about acknowledging and celebrating our differences while working towards a more equitable and just society. It's about examining your own biases, confronting your own prejudices, and acknowledging the ways in which you may have benefited from a system that privileges some over others. It's about educating yourself, seeking out diverse perspectives and actively working to unlearn harmful stereotypes. It's not always comfortable, but it's necessary. The work starts within each of us. It's about challenging our own assumptions, questioning our own beliefs, and being open to learning and growing. It's about understanding that this is a lifelong journey, not a destination, and it's a journey we must all take together. Ultimately, the key to dismantling racism lies in empathy. Empathy is the ability to step into someone else's shoes, to feel their pain, their joy, and their struggles. It is the foundation upon which we can build a more inclusive and understanding society. It's about trying to understand the experiences of others, even if those experiences are different from our own. By sharing our stories and listening to the stories of others, we can begin to see the world from a new perspective. It's about listening with open hearts and minds, without judgment or defensiveness. This kind of listening allows us to connect on a deeper level, fostering a sense of community and mutual respect. It's about recognizing the shared humanity that binds us all. Despite our differences, we all have the same basic needs and desires. We all want to be seen, heard, and valued. When we approach conversations about race with empathy, we create a space for understanding, growth, and ultimately change. This space allows us to explore difficult topics and find common ground. We move beyond the blame game and toward meaningful dialogue. Instead of pointing fingers, we start to ask questions and seek solutions together. We begin to see the world through each other's eyes, and that's when true progress can begin. This shift in perspective is crucial for breaking down the barriers that divide us. So, let's listen to that frustrated caller. Their voice represents many who feel unheard and marginalized. By listening, we validate their experiences and open the door to healing. Let's use their words as a call to action. Their passion and pain can fuel our commitment to making a difference. Let's commit to doing the work, both individually and collectively, to create a world free from racism. Let's start today. Every small action counts, and together we can build a bridge to a better future. Thank you for joining us here on Harry and Meghan TV as we amplify voices that challenge injustice and celebrate the resilience of individuals like Meghan Markle. Let's carry forward the lessons from today's story. Stand against prejudice, listen with empathy, and take actionable steps toward equality. Together we can foster a world where every voice matters. If you enjoyed today's discussion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned for more inspiring stories that reflect the strength and dignity of the Sussexes.